So there was big employment law development last week. What's going on?
So yes, once again, never a dull moment when there's employment law. So what happened was there's a federal appellate court in Louisiana that determined that the National Labor Relations Board, what they called, is likely unconstitutional. So a huge challenge to the whole structure of the National Labor Relations Board. And ironically, this was a case that was brought by Elon Musk, no less, for his company SpaceX.
What is the NLRB? What does it even do?
Yeah, exactly. It's not exactly a household name, but it's actually a powerful federal agency because what it does is it monitors and prosecutes claims of unfair labor practices. It applies both to unions and non-union workplaces, so it pretty much covers most employment workplaces throughout the country. It has in the past really been potent going after workplaces for things like confidentiality agreements, non-disparagement clauses in employment contracts and severance agreements. And it really has been no stranger in taking on some of the giants, companies like CVS, Kodak, Amazon, Trader Joe's, and of course we already talked about in this particular case, SpaceX. And the NLRB actually made waves at the tail end of the Biden administration because what it tried to do is it tried to greatly expand the joint employer liability doctrine, basically saying that even if you don't employ somebody, if you have some direction over their terms of employment, you could be held liable as though you're actually their employer. It was eventually challenged in court, so it never went into effect. But that got a lot of attention, especially for government contractors, because when you have primes and subs, it's very easy to try to see those as joint employers.
And so the new ruling from the Fifth Circuit, what does that mean for companies now?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a little bit to be determined. It obviously only applies within that jurisdiction of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. But what the decision does is it gives companies who are caught up in a National Labor Relations Act charge a roadmap to challenge it, basically saying, you don't even have jurisdiction over me because you're not even a valid government agency because, as this court said, you're likely unconstitutional. And the case is certainly going to make its way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And it's interesting because the U.S. Supreme Court has had cases similar to this where they may very well end up agreeing with the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals and say that, you know what, you're right, the NLRB is actually in its structure unconstitutional. And so if that happens, if the NLRB is going to continue to exist, it's going to have to change its structure. So a little bit of to be determined. We'll continue to monitor this and keep people posted.